have a trio of senior writers, Tim Bontemps, Anthony Slater, Tim MacMahon, covering the happenings around the NBA. So why don't we start, friends, with the New York Knicks, who picked up Jose Alvarado for Dale and Terry, 2 second-round picks, and some cash from the Pelicans. So, Tim, what went into this acquisition for New York?
York has been looking at Jose Alvarado for a while. Malika, obviously a New York point guard, bringing back home to the city. I think it's safe to say he's going to go right into Mike Brown's rotation, coming off the bench, probably playing alongside Deuce McBride, being able to push the pace a little bit. We will see if this potentially impacts the playing time of Tyler Kolek, who has come on this year and been impressive. But the Knicks, moving off of Gershon Yabusele, who they had not had in the rotation all year, getting Jose Alvarado, who they wanted to do for a bit.
Thank you, Tim. Last night, the Warriors, they made a move. Finally, Jonathan Kuminga, that saga's over. He's headed to the Hawks. Kristaps Porzingis is in. So, Mr. Slater, what was Golden State's thinking behind this deal? Mic check, 1 2 1 2. We'll get back to Mr. Slater in just a moment here because we will need to hear more about.
And we're watching Draymond and not.
But finally, the Timberwolves, they acquired Ayo Dosunmu. This is a 4-player trade with the Chicago Bulls. Howdy, Tim. What's happening in Minnesota's approach to the trade season?
Howdy, Malika. I wish you'd use the mute button on Bontemps, by the way. But looking at the Timberwolves, hey. The Timberwolves, for the second straight trade deadline, tried to land a haymaker to get a star to pair with Anthony Edwards. It was Kevin Durant last year, Giannis Antetokounmpo this year. They settled for a little jab. And the Wolves are trying to make these blockbuster trades without any ammo. They don't have draft capital. That is in part because of a swing and miss that Tim Connolly took to get Rob Dillingham when they jumped in the lottery, gave up a pick and a swap. That went bust. Dillingham's now heading to Chicago, and the search for a co-star for Ant continues.
McMahon, thank you. All right, the Lakers, they made a move today. They acquired Luke Kennard from the Atlanta Hawks for Gabe Vincent and a 2032 second-rounder. Kennard, he currently leads the NBA in three-point field goal percentage. He averages almost 50% on 149 attempts. And the Los Angeles Lakers, they need that shooting because they rank in the bottom 10 in both made threes per game and three-point shooting percentage, something that Kennard, I think, can help with. But, Mr. Windhorst, it seems like you may have a couple of folks here who know something about what's happening next with the Lakers.
Yeah, I've got some Lakers experts over here, including a former Laker, Danny Green. He won a bunch of championships. What'd you win, 7, 12?
A couple. Right place, right time.
And we have senior writers Ramona Shelburne and Dave McMenamin here. Okay, so the Lakers today traded for Luke Kennard, swapping out Gabe Vincent for him. Luke Kennard's a 50% three-point shooter. This is something that the Lakers needed. Danny, even though it's a move on the edge, how do you think this will help them?
I like it. And I've been traded for Luke Kennard, actually, in the past. And I understood. You know, like, I was a good shooter.
You have more rings or more trades?
He's a great shooter. Shooting 44 for a career and like 50% this year. Yeah. When Memphis traded for him, I was like, okay, I understand. He's a really good shooter. This, to me, is they couldn't fix all the problems in one scenario. We'd like to get a 2-for-1, but I'm just looking at them and saying we're going to outscore teams, basically. They have unbelievable high-powered offense. This kid is going to get a lot of shots. He's not a high-volume shooter, but he's going to get so many open looks because he only takes the smart ones. He's going to get a lot of smart ones. So this is a great move for them. This is an upgrade. He's more available. Gabe Vincent was a good shooter, but he's a great shooter and more available than Gabe.
Look, you were a 3 and D player. He's a 3, not as much D player. And I think that's going to be, Dave, you cover this team every night. Like, they have players who are great on offense, but a liability on defense. Great on defense, but a liability offensively. So this doesn't solve that problem, that mix and match problem, but it does give them a laser as they've needed for a long time. And so I think it's a good move for them. Gabe Vincent, actually, he was acquired to be a tough perimeter guard. The defensive metrics this year, Luke Kennard actually has better defensive metrics.
Gabe had so many injuries.
Yeah, and I mean, Luke Kennard's playing on a team with some great defensive players, so he's going to probably look better metrically. But this is going to, Jay's going to have to mix and match this one. But it's almost like J.J. Redick traded for J.J. Redick when he was a player.
Well,
Duke guys.
And he also has the LeBron connection. He outscored LeBron in Ohio high school scoring record.
That's
He passed LeBron's record. Listen, it's a good move, and the Lakers didn't have a lot to work with unless they were willing to give up that 2031 or 2032 first-round pick. Thus far, they've been able to upgrade offensively. They're maintaining that cap space that they have this summer, close to $60 million projected. That can allow them to be players in a lot of things because you also keep that first-round pick. They'll have to have up to 3 first-round picks to trade this summer.
Yeah, so the thing to me is the Lakers have $100 million in cap space they can have. The real question was, would they eat into that cap space for somebody now? The answer is no. So where do you think their upside is this season now, Dave, looking at this roster?
I mean, they've been a team where they've looked like they could beat anybody on any night, and they've also been a team where they look like they could lose to anybody on any night. One thing that's been strong, a consistent strength, is their clutch time performances. If you get into a late game situation, you have LeBron and Austin and Luka as the decision makers, you kind of like your chances, and you get another guy maybe who can spread the floor for you a little bit in Luke.
Kennard could be drawn up for some of those plays. All right, Malika, we'll see if anything else happens with the Lakers, but that might have been it.
Beautiful studios. Back over here we come. Kenny, you were making some hand signals as we were seeing.
I'm just super disappointed.
Why?
Because Danny Green, a Tar Heel, said that Luke Kennard, Duke, can shoot better than him. What is going on in the world? If I come to ESPN,
the world's upside
the world
down.
is changing.
It's the that's a can of worms there. But yeah,
there's no admittance ever that those guys in Durham can do anything better than us in Chapel Hill.
I'm glad that you were standing on your principles here, Kenny. But you know who else was standing on some principles coming into the season, even in the last couple of weeks? We'd heard from Rich Paul again and again that his thoughts were that this Los Angeles Lakers roster wasn't enough. And we know that the Lakers have plenty of questions to answer here. Do you think this move went anywhere towards putting a drop in that bucket?
Well, I don't know if shooting was lacking, but I don't know if that's the reason why they're losing. I think the defensive perimeter defense is a big part.
Sure.
That they cannot keep people out of the paint. Mm-hmm. So guys are shooting threes, but they're also having rim runs. So I don't think they've addressed the defensive athleticism on the perimeter.
And this might be it, Bobby, for the Lakers?
Well, I've used the phrase the two-timeline team so much that I should get T-shirts printed out or just get it patented here. This is what we've been talking about since LeBron opted into his contract. They preserve cap flexibility, but for who? It's an older free agent class. They've got 3 first-round picks starting in the offseason, 26, 31, and 33. How are they going to build the roster around Luka and Austin Reeves will be the question going into the offseason.
Well, you know, it's interesting, Bobby, is that the big three in L.A. has only played together 9 games this season. So they're getting Austin Reeves back. You can consider him a trade deadline acquisition, getting him healthy. Kenny's point, they have the worst rim protection in the NBA. They have a hard time guarding on the perimeter. Adding Luke Kennard gives more shooting for Luka and LeBron, but doesn't answer the biggest defensive efficiencies that team has.
Everything come out of Rich Paul's mouth is not the gospel, but I actually agree with him on this one.